Doctors, what was the best excuse you've heard for someone having something stuck in their ass?
Had a guy with a screwdriver up there, handle first. He was honest. Said the wife wanted to try something new. Why the screwdriver? Something shaped like a dick would have been gay. I always thought that was a real weird place to draw that line.
My friend is a nurse. She told me about a guy who came into her ER. He claimed to have fallen out of a tree and a branch went right up his ass. They x-rayed him, and he had this perfectly round wooden rod up his ass. When they removed it, they saw that it was sanded, painted and primed. That branch must have come from a genetically modified species of tree lol.
My mom was a nurse and always remembered the guy whose wife was out of town, so he was cooking naked and slipped and fell on a potato.
I am a nurse, a male as well. Guy came to my hospital with a cue ball stuck in his rectum. Said him and his wife were having sex and this happened. Made no excuses and showed no shame. ER doc was unable to remove it with forceps, and he had to get anesthesia to have a minor surgical procedure to get it out. My job was basically to just go through a pre-surgical checklist and send him on his way. When I'm done, he shouts excitedly, "All right, let's get this ball rolling." I almost died laughing. It was near the end of my shift, and I always wonder what happened to him. I'm sure he did fine and is back to having amazing kinky sex with his wife.
Had this elderly guy come in with a cucumber up there. First month of residency, so my attending asks, "Why did you put that up there?" Guy, dead normal, says, "Well, it was just like every Tuesday." I woke up, made some coffee and sat on a cucumber. Stifling laughter, my attending just said, "Sir, you shouldn't do that anymore." He says okay. We removed it and never saw him again.
Guy told me he was constipated, so he stuck the broom handle up there to break up the poop. I almost believed him. Edit, it was half of a broom handle, cut off and wrapped in electrical tape. All the way inside his ass.
A college friend who is an OR nurse said the best thing she ever witnessed was a small snow globe with the message "World's Greatest Dad" on the inside.
Saw someone with a remote control stuck way up in their colon. She said she was getting herself ready for anal sex with her boyfriend, and then it got stuck. The kicker was that she showed up to the hospital with her boyfriend and her husband in tow.
My ex is a ER nurse. One night she sent me a pic of her computer of what she was working on. 16-year-old male brought in by his mother. Shoved a sausage up his ass and lost it. Imagine the embarrassment of telling mom, "Hey mom, I lost a sausage in my ass. Can you take me to the ER?" Fucking kids.
Paramedic here. Had one guy tell me he slipped on a banana peel and landed on the upright vase on the floor. He then proceeded to produce a banana peel for good measure. Edit, my first gold and a couple other goodies. I'm really happy that you all enjoy a good laugh from my career this far.
Guy came in with a cordless phone up his ass, like one of the old school ones from 15 years ago. He said that when he was in the kitchen bending over opening the oven door, someone threw it through his open window, and it just went right up.
When I was a student working in an ER, a guy came in with an unraveled wire hanger stuck and hooked up there. He said he was trying to fish out the vibrator he lost.
I took a walk outside and something just flew into my ass.
It always boils down to the person accidentally sat on it. The best my dad saw, a former emergency doctor, was a young guy who accidentally sat on a giant tub of Vaseline. Accidentally. I asked how doctors record that in their patient files, and the common way to do so is to say the patient claims to have sat on X object. Edit, my dad's thrilled that his story has touched so many of you, face with tears of joy.
There was a news story in my country. A man went to the ER and they discovered that he drunkenly put 2 hammerheads in his ass, his reasoning being that he ate a jar of preserved cherries with pits and then had abdominal pain and wanted to smash the pits.
Related, guy puts a vibrator, one of the massive cordless wand types, way up there, like a mega seed, and it gets sucked into the sigmoid colon. When he gets to me in the ER, I ask him how he was feeling. He answered, "Well doc, I'm way better since the batteries died." Made my night.
Nurse, I tried to dig something out of my ass with a barbecue skewer. Skewer got stuck. Ripped a hole in his intestines. He waited so long to come in he was septic. One stat or visit and an ICU stay later, please don't call my mom. Guy was tripping hard on LSD.
I stuck it up there on purpose, and now it's stuck. Please help. It was a perfectly honest and valid reason for have something stuck up your ass, and we helped. No further questions needed.
Not an excuse, but a medic told me that they have contests about what is the most unexpected thing they pulled out of butts. The winner was a guy that put an electric Christmas decoration, the ones you wrap around the tree. In her own words, the legend doesn't say whether he plugged it or not. I should have asked what the excuse was for that one.
So I actually once did fall naked in my bedroom, and my ass cheek smashed hard onto the end of a small dumbbell that was angles up at 45 degrees. I'm coming to realize after reading all of this that had it hit the bullseye, no one would have fucking believed me.
Presented at ER in Sydney with carrot stuck in the arse. Doctor, what happened? Patient, I heard a noise in the garden. Went to investigate. Slipped and fell over. Carrot went up my bum. Doctor, carrots grow upside down out your way, huh?
Worked on ambulances, not a doctor. Mostly bottles or vegetables. The aubergine was the biggest, but potatoes and carrots seemed to be popular. Ketchup, mayo and glass cola bottles were common at one point. Also one but plug and a toilet brush. The last two were honest and very distraught. Others all had naked gardening stories. There's an even worse question you haven't asked, which is for things people have shoved up their urethras, only men in my experience.
My brother was a triage nurse and examined someone that came in with a Barbie doll up their arse. Don't know if they were male or female though.
My sister is a surgical nurse, and a guy came into the hospital with a pool noodle shoved up his ass. It was so deep that they had to cut open his abdomen, intestines and colon to cut the foam out of him. He said he fell on it while swimming nude. But when they cut him open, it had a condom stretched over the end of it. When they confronted him, he said, "Please don't tell me wife edit. Well, thank you everyone for the upvotes and awards." This is my sister's favorite or story to tell. She tells about all the things she's seen after she's had a few drinks, but this one is the best one.
The best one I've heard is a priest who had peeled a potato and left it on the side for his dinner. He decided to hang the curtains back up while nude and fell off the step ladder onto it. It was in the UK paper years ago. If I find it, I'll post the sauce.
Not quite the same, but I was in a lecture where someone asked a doctor the strangest foreign body he'd removed, and he said removing a whole carrot from a rectum was pretty memorable. Girl next to me piped up, "OMG, how did someone swallow a whole carrot? Oh, you sweet summer child."
I went to med school in the deep south. Burly, middle-aged southern gentleman showed up in the ED. Chief complaint, rectal pain. After a full history and physical examination, couldn't ascertain the case of his pain other than him saying feels like something's up there. We decided to start with some x-rays. Before we obtained them, he says, "Alright, I'm gonna be square with you." I was walking down the street, minding my own business, when these thugs jumped me out of nowhere and held me down and stuck a cucumber up my butt. "Please, you got to get it out." I immediately went to get my attending. One surgical consult and GI consult later, a cucumber wrapped in a condom was extracted from this man's rectum.
Worked with an ex-paramedic who told me a guy was cleaning his son's room while nude because his only set of clothes were in to wash while his son was at school, slipped on a sock and ended up getting Buzz Lightyear stuck up his ass. I asked the important question, of course, were the wings extended? He didn't answer, but we both rocked with laughter.
Fran is a stomach surgeon, so always gets called in to pull things out of arses. He has loads of stories, but the one I remember is a guy who had a glass ketchup bottle up his arse. He'd claimed to have returned home with his grocery shopping, realized he'd lost his key, so put shopping down and attempted to climb through a high window. He slipped, fell backwards arse first onto his groceries and SHLUM. The ketchup bottle just shot up his a-hole. Ignore that guy was presumably not naked at time. After removing it at the hospital, my DR friend said that's strange. The ketchup you bought is only half full. I think the worst thing is that it suggests he was gonna eat the rest of it another time.
A light bulb. You could always tell when someone came into the ER with something lodged in their rectum because everyone would be standing around looking at the X-ray. It was still in perfect light bulb shape. I have no idea how the patient got it up there without breaking it.